Imagine being a teenager, young adult, leaving your friends, your family, your pets, leaving the security and comfort of your home, leaving, and with the distinct possibility you may never return home again to see your loved ones. It's something you don't even want to imagine, or can't. Fortunately, for most of us today, we don't have to worry thanks to those individuals who did indeed, at one time or another, give up and made these sacrifices.
Remembrance Day in itself is exactly what it means, Remembrance Day. You have to think back to what happened 60 years ago and remember those things. And the only way it's going to be handled is if we get the youth of today to understand what we did in those years gone by.
Only my granddaughter, she asked me if I was scared. I said, well, we talked one day if I was. Now, I don't think a soldier is scared. You're trained to do a job, and we were well trained, by the way.
Grandma, what did Grandpa do in the war? Of course, my husband, he was not accepted because he only had one kidney. So I told him I did enough service for the both of us. And my grandchildren, they couldn't get over that, to think Grandma had done all the work and Grandpa stayed home.
Before I came into cadets, I didn't really realize what Remembrance Day was about or like what the point of it was, since it didn't affect me. But since I've been coming to parades for them and like watching all the old people come out and just, you know, remember their best friends, and it kind of like hits you and it's like serious.
It must be hard for the younger generation to feel what we feel, having gone through it. They have no idea what we went through. You were not only frightened for your own life, for your friends' lives, but you left home where you were comfortable at home, and when they had raids on your own city, you were just scared to death that something would happen to your parents or your loved ones at home.
I know all the hard work that they've gone through, and I know all like the pain and the time away from your family and like all that, and you just try to imagine it like 10 times more, and it's horrible.
Remembrance Day for military members, it's an automatic day off. It's a day off that we sit back and reflect on our friends, our acquaintances, our losses. So yeah, I take it very seriously. Yeah.
I had a good job in Toronto, at Scarborough Junction. I had a very good job. I had a car and I had a very good job. But my friends were joining up, and they got after me. I joined in 1941. Actually, they got after me. Come on, Paul, let's go. You got to join up.
I had a very good friend of mine who went through Sicily, Italy, France, Germany, and Holland, and who came back to England, and the day that he was to be repatriated to Canada, he was killed in a jeep accident.
I was engaged to a young sergeant pilot who was killed in the Battle of Britain, and every time on the 11th of November, I just choke right up. Got shot down, and 2 weeks later, his friend wrote to me and told me what happened. And then 2 weeks later, his friend got shot down. He could have saved himself, but he bailed by bailing out and going over the village. But he stayed with his plane and got it over the village so that it wouldn't crash into the town itself.
Long tours are hard on them, but at the same time, once I'm gone for a while, they get used to me being gone and they get into their own routine, and it takes a special person to be married to me.
In March of 1919, the Ontario Hockey Association donated the OHA Memorial Cup to honor and remember the many young men and women who made the supreme sacrifice for Canada in World War I. Since 1919, the Memorial Cup has been awarded to Canada's national junior champions. Most recently, London had the honor to host this prestigious tournament during May. How fitting it was that our London Knights hoisted the 87th Memorial Cup as Canadian Hockey League champions for 2005, the year of the veteran.
I think Remembrance Day, again, is downplayed by Canada a bit. I understand sort of the government position. There's an awful lot of days off when we look at it. And I'm not sure we can, again, impose that you must go to a ceremony. People should be there because they want to be there. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see people who come there and don't want to be there, because it means a lot to me when I go. I believe recently that Veterans Affairs and the Department of National Defense have certainly taken some moves to increase the visibility and the knowledge of the general public. They've initiated a bunch of school programs, veterans getting out to the school programs.
In recent years, there's been a resurgence. Prior to that, they were sort of kind of fluffed off as though it's just another day type of thing. But lately, they seem to be bringing back, the younger crowd seem to be picking up the stories of the older people.
Well, I think Remembrance Day is going to continue to diminish unless we take active steps to make it an issue.
This Remembrance Day is a day that exactly we should do, is remember. And remember what sacrifices we made so that you people can enjoy life the way it is today.
Okay. My job is to better the lives of other countries, other nationalities, Canada, and what we stand for. So I think that's the big thing. And remembrance is part of that, because we don't know where we're going if you don't know where you've been, right? You got to know the history behind Canada, the military, and what we've done in the past to figure out where we're going in the future. And, it's all part of remembering where we've been and where we're going, and that's the key.